Hey Edric, good to have you on the show.
That's a great segue though. I have no idea what we're doing right now.
Yeah, you're a friend because you're also a podcaster. And as I said, you know what? Let's do something a little more casual. You do a great podcast called Podcasters Playground. I've been on it twice now. And we'll just talk a little bit about the context of two podcasters. But I have this deck of cards. It's by a brand called Truth or Drink. It just has a nice, I don't know what's the word, random effect where you don't know what question is going to happen. And I'm going to ask you a question. What is that? On each card, there's two questions. And I get to pick one question to ask you, and then you have to answer. The two questions I had was like, what's the most kick-ass you've ever felt as a podcaster? Or the second one is, if we formed a gang, what would the name of our gang be?
Wow. Okay, so I'll start with the first one. Okay, but I have a bad memory. So run the first one by me again.
What's the most kick-ass you've ever felt, perhaps as a podcaster?
I think it was the moment that I could say I could afford to buy the Super 55 mic that I always wanted. Basically, it's the Elvis mic, but it's in black because I saw James Hetfield using it, and his was the special edition Metallica version. And I was like, okay, I totally have to get one because they always use pictures of the microphone of that Elvis mic, the Super 55, but nobody ever has one. So I'm like, screw it, I'm gonna buy one, I'm gonna use one. Cause why? Because I can. Yeah, when I started using it, I was like, damn, this is so cool. Because I'm like one of the few podcasters I think who actually uses that on a regular basis for podcasting. So yeah, that's part of the brand now, I think.
That's great.
Okay, question 1. What song are you most ashamed to admit to me that you love?
Actually, now that you mention it and I think about it, there is a song that I like, which is it's like, baby monkey riding on a pig, baby monkey. Which is a very dumb jingle that's very meme-like that sometimes just runs through my head. I don't know why. And it used to be my alarm clock. My housemates in undergrad would be like, this guy's blasting, baby monkey riding on a pig.
Okay, you should be embarrassed. Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, that answers 2 questions then.
Okay, great. Okay, I'm going to ask you one question is, what did you think you would hate but ended up loving?
Tights.
Like bicycle tights?
Just running tights or just tights in general, because it's toxic masculinity kind of thing, right? It's like you're always like, oh, that's gay, that's gay. You're gonna dance gay, that kind of thing. You want it pink or purple, right? That kind of thing, right? Growing up in those days, so tights were always a thing. But until I started wearing certain tights for running or for hiking, trekking, whatever, right, underneath the clothes, even for motorcycle riding, when we go touring, the tights help to cool the skin so much better.
Really?
Yeah. I buy this brand called Dr. Skin that's supposedly from Korea, right? But really good stuff, Yeah, it keeps you cool all day. So I love them. Yeah, they're like, it's pantyhose for men, right? Mantyhose, let's call them mantyhose.
Yeah, well, never tried them, so no idea. I'll take you at face value. Okay, all right, take the next card.
Okay, I think this is very close to you. If dogs and their owners are supposed to have matching personalities, what type of dog should I get?
What should I get?
Oh, should you get? Yes.
Yeah.
You've already got one, but if
I've always had a lot of affinity, and I think the dog that I got was a Shiba Inu. So it's like a Japanese.
I didn't see no Shiba Inu down there.
Yeah. So the Keiko is her name. And I think it's great because she's first of all an Asian dog, so I'm also Asian. That's one.
I thought you were about to say you're an Asian dog as well. I'm like, oh
No,
God,
we're both Asian.
This is so racial.
What? I'm not saying I'm an Asian dog. Jesus. Anyway, the point I'm trying to say here is that I think we're both like independent personalities. It's like a smart dog. It's good natured. So I think that's be what it is. Okay, the question I'm going to ask you is, would you give me one of your kidneys?
If I gave you my kidney, I think you'd regret it.
Because it's a bad kidney.
Yes.
You drank too much.
Yeah, correct. So if, let's say, for example, oh, I need a liver or I need a kidney, I'm like, dude, if I gave you mine, you'd have the same problem as me. I don't know whether I'd be helping you or helping you go faster.
Yeah, okay. But you never asked the question, would you give me one of your kidneys?
Why not?
If I was like, okay, if I needed it because I was sick, you would give me a kidney.
if there was, honestly speaking, if there were no one left on the donor list, I'd be like, yeah, okay, sure.
But then otherwise, you'd be like, yeah, no.
Yeah, look, there are other people in line. Why would I steal their thunder?
Oh, wow. You're trying to make yourself a good Samaritan.
Of course. There are so many people who are willing to give you. There are so many cadavers out there that
Wow.
with fresh kidneys.
So the answer, I got it, is effectively no, unless it's really bad.
Yeah.
Okay, all right. Your turn.
Is it my turn already? Okay, let's do this. Oh, this is great. Why do you put up with me?
I'm asking myself the question right now.
No, you should tell me. Why do you put up with me? This is great.
No, I think you're a subject matter expert on podcasting and you understand a lot of stuff. You're a specialist. I think it's a good complementary skill set.
Okay, your turn.
All right, my turn. What's the best compliment you've ever been given?
I think it's you're good enough.
What?
Yeah.
Not you're good or you're great.
No, you're just good enough.
Who did you get that from? In what context?
It was actually from my wife.
Oh.
Because I have a very... Okay, this is taking a really quick turn. I'm very mean to myself. I set very high standards for myself. There's a wonderful phrase from, I think it was Marcus Aurelius, who said, be strict to yourself, but tolerant towards others. So by that, my understanding is I hold myself to the highest of standards, as and when possible. But when other people make a mistake, be benevolent and have enough grace to say it's okay. But with myself, I can't forgive myself very easily. It's that difference. For my wife to tell me like you are setting yourself an impossible standard, but you're good enough. I think that meant a lot to me.
Wow.
Yeah, just to know that, okay, somebody else sees it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
amazing.
So that to me, yeah, it's enough.
That's great.
On what topic could you be an expert TV talking head?
Expert on a TV talking head.
Yeah.
I think it would be two different types of TV shows I can imagine. I think first of all would be Southeast Asia Tech. That's effectively the TV show of the Brave Southeast Asia Tech podcast where I'm the host, I'm a guest, I'm an interviewer, I'm a moderator, and I love the technology space. It's a great way to transform millions of lives. I think I'm a nerd. I'm obviously working in that space. I'm helping folks in that space. So I think I could talk about that TV show. So that'll be the business version. The other version will probably be the science fiction channel, which would be the nerdy one, where I go even nerdier, which is like an extrapolation of my daily work, right? Which is, okay, now we have AI, and then we're already starting to see startups and AI companions. So my prediction in the next few years is somebody's going to get married to AI. But it'll be, this person's going to get laughed at, and we're all going to laugh at this person and say this person's a total weirdo. But I think the science fiction channel, where I'm the TV host, would be like, yeah, it could be, you can imagine a world where most people get married to their AI companions are always loving, always kind, always patient, always tells you that you're good enough. And the minority could be married to a human
Wasn't
being.
there somebody who got married to himself or herself?
You can get married to yourself?
Something like that. I can't remember. There was something like that. But anyway, we got to fact check that.
Yeah, that sounds like the most extreme version of self-love, but
there was somebody who did it.
Yeah.
It was Japan and the US, something like that.
Yeah.
Never mind, we'll
find out. All right. Question for you would be, fill in the blank. Defend yourself. I don't care if X is for kids. I'll still love it until I die. So what is something that you love, even if it is for kids?
What is something that I love that's for kids?
Yes.
Trying not to go down the wrong path here.
What is the wrong path? Is it Lego? Is it anime? Cartoons? Candy? Fast food?
I like kids' toys that you can squeeze and make a sound, or you press and there's a jingle.
Oh, those! Wow, that's very primal.
It's just like those things.
Like the quick, or like rubber ducks.
Oh no, yeah, but not the rubber chicken though. Oh, that one's a really annoying thing. Yeah. I like those that they like squeak.
What was that? Was it Speaking Elmo, or I can't remember what it's
Oh
called.
no,
Yeah.
not those. I just like those. Maybe it's just a tactile function that you press something and there's a response. I just like that.
Okay, good. All right.
So weird.
Yeah. Well,
I'm sorry. I'm just weird. What is your happiest memory from when you were a single-digit aged child?
so between 0 to 9. I think one of my happiest memories is that eating mangoes I think my parents would give me, what was it, like a slice of mango, and then they'll put cut it so that it makes those squares, and then you pop them open, and you eat a juicy ripe mango as a kid. It's such a great experience. So that's like one of my memories. Just like you just get one of those, such a big treat, and then they're so fun, and it's such a happy memory as had as kids. I've definitely been a moment where I was like, now that I'm a parent of 2 young daughters, I'm like, I buy them mangoes, and I don't know, I feel like a weird person, but I'm like, okay, I'm gonna give you those same happy memories. I'm gonna cut the mangoes, and then have that fun trick of inverting the mango so that it pops out in those squares, and the kids really enjoy them. So
nice.
Who knows? Maybe in 30 years they'll be remembering this as a happy memory.
Dad gave me mangoes.
Yeah, why not? What was your first impression of me? Has it turned out to be the case?
There's so many things I could say right now. My first impression of you. Okay. Yeah, I think the first impression of you was that you were a little cocky. Oh, damn, this guy's a bit of a cunt. But yeah, okay. Anyway, but then after that, I realized, yeah, he is a little bit of a cunt, but in a good way. In a good way. The way that the Brits say it, not the way that the Americans say it.
Yeah?
Yeah. That you're a fun guy, right? You love a good laugh. You enjoy good conversation. What's there not to like?
Yeah.
And the fact is that sometimes we maybe misinterpret or misdiagnose almost, to an extent, the difference between arrogance and confidence, right? So sometimes it's not the case. It's just that you know your stuff, you're confident about what you do, and that's it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, yeah, you're a little bit of a cunt, but in a good way. Oh, this is good. What bad habit have you kicked?
I think there are many bad habits I've kicked. I would say that one bad habit that I've kicked, I think, would be procrastination. So I think that when I was younger, I would often procrastinate because I have like high standards for the work. And then obviously you end up the trap of perfectionism, which is that you don't get started and you wait till the last moment, and then the deadline comes in and you use your, I don't know, was it the time pressure and your skill to blitz through the work, and you submit it and you're like, oh, I didn't get an A because I didn't start on time. But it's okay because I didn't start on time anyway. So it's a miracle I got a B.
Yeah.
And then you end up procrastinating, which is, I think, not a good thing to do when you're like a teenager. So I think one of the best things that happened when I was a teenager was I went to the bookstore and I bought a book, and I think it was called Study Habits. And he just explained like the science of procrastination. I think the other book called like The Power of Now and some other procrastination books. And I thought there was one of them had a wonderful analogy, which was like, if you have a plank between two very tall buildings, you'll be very fearful to walk on that plank, right? And you would not want to walk on that plank between two different buildings, right? That narrow wooden plank. But if that wooden plank was on the floor, on hard floor, there's no building, nothing, it's just on the floor, and you were fearful of walking on that plank, then that'd be a crazy thing to do, because actually walking across the plank in real life on the floor is an easy, low risk transaction. And actually, technically, walking on a plank between two tall buildings is actually the same skill, if that makes sense, because you're still walking. It's just that the fear is there, right? And what I was just saying was that when you are trying to solve something that you don't want to do in real life, you feel as if your primal limbic system is feeling like it's a very high stakes situation. But actually, finishing your scientific paper or doing an assignment is actually like a low. If you can figure out how to lower the risk, then you just walk across that plank on the ground very easily. You get it done. And so I think really being able to feel that urge to procrastinate, which is understandable because normally as you progress, the kind of work you do become more complex. It gets more delinked from reward, and there are more and more priorities because now you're a parent or something else. So I think it's natural to not want to do things. And then I think now I've become a lot more better to be like, okay, I want this thing. So if I'm procrastinating or feeling that urge to do, is it maybe because I shouldn't do this thing at all? Maybe I shouldn't even have this meeting at all. Yeah, let's not do it at all, right? Because then I don't procrastinate. I just said no to the meeting that I don't want to do, for example, or an errand that is not worth doing, or maybe something I should just delegate, or it could be something I just acknowledge and say, okay, I'll just do it at X time, block out time, and so forth. So I think there's been an important habit, but yes, I think that's a big piece that people sometimes get confused because they're like, hey, Jeremy, you'll achieve all these things. How can procrastination be a worse habit? And I'm like, yeah, that is actually because of that fact. Yeah.
I see.
Yeah. What best represents me as a friend? A weighted blanket, a spin class, or wine tasting?
It's a horrible question.
Yeah, I don't know. What best represents Jeremy as a friend? A weighted blanket, a spin class, or wine tasting?
Now I have a choice. Do I say something funny or not funny?
I think you should say something that's direct. Because I'm too traumatized. I think it's funny.
Yeah. I think, okay, I would say it's a wine tasting.
Oof.
Yeah.
Why is that?
Okay, you really want to know? Okay. So with every wine tasting, every time you sit down at every session, there's always something new to discover.
Oh, that's very nice of you.
Until you sit there for 2 hours and then it turns sour.
Oh,
See, there's always a backhanded compliment.
backhanded compliment. That's why, you know what? I only have to deal with you for an hour.
Yeah.
You have to deal with yourself
It's like,
for the other 23
yeah.
hours.
Well, thank you for having me in your home. It's
Okay.
time to leave now.
You're right.
Making it so difficult for you.
We have this be the last one.
Can't take it anymore. What's the biggest fear you've overcome?
The biggest fear I've overcome. I think the biggest fear I've overcome is of long-term relationships. In junior college, I unfortunately had a loved one pass away. She was very dear to me in terms of relationship. And so after that, I was grieving for many years. And I think I threw myself into my work and got stuff done. And I think I was a functioning member of society that was productive and so forth. But I think one area that I just never really processed was how I dealt with my own romantic relationships with other people. And because I didn't really know how to disclose it, like you said, you want to be a manly man. So, you gotta do, you're like, I'm not gonna tell anybody. But that's on my mind, and I'm with somebody who loves me and wants me to open up, but I'm not gonna open up because I'm a manly man. And obviously that is a one-way ticket to not doing well in any relationship, because you end up being like a emotionally compartmentalized dude, which is, I think, very common in the TV and movie tropes, the stoic man. And I'm like, it doesn't really work for, I think, a good relationship. I think once I discovered my now wife, then girlfriend, and then like saying, hey, this could be someone that we could live for long term, I think I checked myself in for some counseling, and I worked through that grief component until I got to the point where, okay, my brain is not going to auto default to this relationship is doomed for death or breakup, right? Which is, if you think about it, crazy. Now I laugh at it because it's like such a crazy belief structure to have. Your brain just says, oh, your loved one passed away because, and therefore you have survivor's guilt and you don't deserve love. And that's a horrible, crazy belief to have, that I'm glad that I've acknowledged that fear and just said, you know what? I am scared of falling in love with somebody and having that person pass away. And it's okay. Like, it's okay to fall in love, and all of us die eventually as well. But it's weird to say it because it sounds so obvious. I think it's just a kind of crazy part of human life.
Yeah. You can't, it takes a lot of time, I think, to deal with loss.
Yeah.
And to be able to come to terms with our own mortality and the mortality of others. But yeah, that being said, it's time for me to go.
Okay, all right. Thank you so much for coming and having fun with this. Yeah.
Yeah, it's lots of fun. I don't know how much you can use.
Okay, we'll see. All right, thanks, buddy.
Okay, thanks.
Okay, all right.